Hi, this video is for Wednesday. We are on lesson 78 and you should have your books open right now to page 377. We're going to jump right into the lesson. Quadrilaterals are polygons with four sides. Quadrilaterals are classified in the following ways. We're going to have to be saying quadrilaterals I'm going to have to be saying quadrilaterals quite a bit, and I probably should have practiced it over and over again because I struggle saying that word. It's because I'm Hispanic. I'm just kidding. That's not the reason. I just struggle saying that word for some reason. Anyway, quadrilaterals are classified in the following ways, and I've set up a couple of them there. Now, again, follow along in your books. If you want to use the board, you can use the board, but all of this information is in the books in front of you, or should be in the books in front of you, okay? So first we have our shape, our characteristic, and name, and then the characteristics give the description of the shape, and then obviously the name names the shape to the left. And you have all the information. Notice that rhombuses, rectangles, and squares are all parallelograms. And this is important. You're going to use this information to answer some of the questions. Also notice that a square is a special kind of rectangle, which is a special kind of parallelogram, which is a special kind of quadrilateral, which is a special kind of polygon. A square is also a special kind of rhombus, okay? So you see how some of them are all connected, they're all the same thing and can be named the same thing? This will be important to answer a few of the questions ahead. Example, is the following statement true or false? All parallelograms are rectangles. And in the solution, they're going to describe and we're going to see whether the statement is true or false. We are asked to decide if every parallelogram is a rectangle. Since a rectangle is a special kind of parallelogram, some parallelograms are rectangles. However, some parallelograms are not rectangles, so the statement is false. The statement was, all parallelograms are rectangles. And although it is true that some are, not all of them are, so the statement is false. So here, on the board, so you can see, I'll scoot this all the way over. On the board, we have our practice statements. So state whether each statement is true or false. So letter A, all quadrilaterals are four-sided polygons. We know from the word itself, the quad, four, that yes, this statement is true. All quadrilaterals are four-sided polygons, so this would be true. Letter B, some parallelograms are trapezoids. Okay, so if we go back, we look at our characteristics for a parallelogram. So it's two pairs of parallel sides. A parallelogram has two pairs of parallel sides. So the statement was, some parallelograms are trapezoids. So let's look at our trapezoid. A trapezoid has one pair of parallel lines, where a parallelogram has two. So the statement is false. Some parallelograms are trapezoids. Can't be true because by nature of being a parallelogram, it has to have two parallel sides. So letter B would be false. Letter C, every square is a rhombus, okay? And we notice from the bottom of page 377, the last sentence is, a square is also a special kind of rhombus. So we're just taking information that we're given and answering the statements whether true or false. So letter C is true. A square is also a special kind of rhombus. Then letter D, every rhombus is a square, okay? So let's look at the rhombus. A rhombus is a parallelogram with equal sides. Sorry if I'm blocking it, but if you look at your information, if you look at your information box, you see that a rhombus, is a parallelogram with equal side. Now the statement is, every rhombus is a square. That is not necessarily true. Let's go ahead and read this information again. Notice that the rhombuses, rectangles, and squares are all a kind of parallelogram. Also notice that a square is a special kind of rectangle, which is a special kind of parallelogram, which is a special kind of quadrilateral, which is a special kind of polygon. And then some squares, or a square, is also a special kind of rhombus. That doesn't mean that all rhombuses are squares. It means that a square can be a special kind of rhombus. So for letter D, the statement is false. Letter E, some rectangles are squares. Some rectangles are squares. So if we look at a rectangle, a parallelogram with right angles, okay? So if we look here, we've got a rectangle, which is a parallelogram with right angles, okay? So could we transfer this information, a parallelogram with right angles, to a square? And the answer is yes, we can. Both of these, this top line is parallel to this line, and these two side lines are parallel. So it does have parallel lines, and it has right angles, okay? So it's a parallelogram. So a parallelogram is a shape with two pairs of parallel lines. Both of these have parallel lines. So yes, the statement is true. Some rectangles are squares is a true statement. In the next part of the math video, we're gonna go ahead and start solving the odd numbers on problem set 78. So go ahead and watch part 2.